This is going to be a lesson on Stormy Monday Blues by the Allman Brothers. This was originally written by T-Bone Walker. On the live recording, they say it's a Bobby Blue Bland song, but then they go, oh, it's actually a T-Bone Walker song, so it's kind of funny. So anyway, we got interesting chord progression on this one. It kind of modulates out of key as it goes. It has some chromatic chords and stuff like that. So our first thing is a lot of people might not know this shape of a G9 chord. So there's this G9 up here, like a funk chord up here. Now if you were to play that with your bass note on the big string, it comes out with a G and then skip the A, mute the A, and then go 3, 2, 3. So you have this 3, 2, 3 shape in there with your bass. You don't always need that. You can do your thumb on the bass too. Kind of see it better that way. 3, 2, 3, going from the D down to the B string. So you got the G bass, muting the A, muting the little E. So it kind of starts out with a little thing like. So we kind of start out with this little piece of this G9 chord. We're going to go down a fret, back up, and then up one, back to the original one. And that becomes an augmented shape right there. That's 5, 4, 3, 3. So we got. Okay, now our progression is going to be like G7 to C7, 9, typical kind of blues thing. But what they have is some sliding like double stops in here that are really cool. So we got. And then one guitar goes. And then the other guitar answers with. And then they switch down to the lower chord. So these are the notes of that G9 and also like kind of G7 type thing. So this is 3 to 5 on the D string, and then 5 on the B string, and then they both slide down to 3s. And then the other guitar goes, does them as like a chord. Then the other one goes. So we went down a string, that matches the notes of this C7, 9. And then the answer goes. So let's look at the whole thing we got. So that one had a little trick. A little pull off with the pinky. Back to the first one. Now we're going to go up one fret. So kind of doing like a to those bottom 2 3s down there. And then hitting that little pinky on there. So that becomes like that 13 chord. Let's see. So we got. Now we have a new progression. This is going to be the A minor 7. So that's a 5 up here with the middle finger. Mute the A and do all 5s all the way down there. That's an A minor 7. Up to B minor 7 on the 7th, and then B flat minor 7. And then we're back to the A minor 7. Then we have a C minor. And then we're going to have this 5, 5, 4, and 6 on the top to get a higher inversion of that C minor. So we got. And then the chords do a typical kind of turnaround. So you could go. But there's also a cool organ riff right here. So let's take a look at that one too. So that's like G7, hitting those 2 top notes there. So that's the little 3s, then the 5s on the 2nd and 3rd string. And you could either go to these 3s here, or you could do a little hammer on that one there. So. course. You do that bass too. Go to the C bass there, G bass, and that's your 3, 4, 5 on the A string to that augmented chord, 5, 4, 3, 3. Got to get that bar going on those threes. So that's like a 7 chord, just made out to have an extra note in it. Okay, so let's take a look one more time. A minor 7, B minor 7. Got our C minor, the high note, turn around. And then they'll do one of those blues things there early on. And then later when the solo's happening, he's really in this BB box. So that's where we have that first finger on the 8th fret on the G note of the 2nd string. And using this 9th fret makes it sound major pentatonic already. So you got that 10 that bends a lot. You can bend that 10 up, get that 8, 10, and go back, real BB box, tasty sound and BB King type stuff. So you can also bend this note from the pentatonic minor. He gets into that one. Makes it a little more minor sounding. But you can bring it back into that major stuff whenever you want. And then you can always jump up here. Good to know that's where your 5th is for that turnaround. So he's all over the place. He's in the minor up here. But also using some major notes. And then down here. Get some minor and major working together. So try out that BB box. And the whole combining major and minor pentatonic everywhere. So Stormy Monday Blues by the Allman Brothers, the great Dickie Betts, Dwayne Allman from Live at the Fillmore East. Check that out. It's like a 10-minute version. It's got all kind of great licks in there. You can have a whole lot of fun. So one more time, I'm going to take you through these basic chords. All right, this is going to be Hot Lanta by the Allman Brothers from Live at the Fillmore East. So it's got this organ riff that gets it going. Okay, and the guitar is going to end up doing that kind of later. It's kind of with an open A string and a little bit of a chord going. Okay, so you got, and when you hit that 7 there on the D string, you kind of got that A bass going with it. So 5, 7, 7, 7, and then 5 on the D string and back. And then it kind of goes 5, 7, 7, 5. So that kind of a thing. So the first one on the organ. So just single note type of thing. Okay, then we're going to get into the first guitar melody. So we're going to have this 5 down here. So we had little 5, and then 5 to 8, 8 to 5 on the second string. So now we got 7 on the D, 5, 7 on the G, and then we're hammering back in there 5, 7 on the D. So we got. Then that guitar is going to go up to the 10th fret. So we're going to jump to that bigger string to keep it with the same notes we were doing down here. So we got 10, 10, 13, 10 on the second. Go to that D string. And then we're going to go to that lower one. And then we have this 8 on the second string. So 8, 8, 10, 7. 8, 10, 7. And then 6. Bend that 8 up, and then 5. And then we got. Okay, so once again, all those riffs, we got. Okay, now we have a little bit of harmony stuff. So Dwayne Allman comes out with the same riff. But then he'll come over here to this 10. So he'll have a 10 on the G, 2 10s on the D, 12 on the A. And then they end up lining up again on those. Now his notes down here are going to be 5 twice, 7 to 4 then, and that's harmonizing with this other one, so it's 5, 5, 7, 4, and then 3, bend that 5 only a half step, go to the 2 there. So this is Dwayne's part. Okay, there's also a Dwayne thing where he comes in like the second time through the song. Now, instead of doing that one, he'll pop up here and he'll do this 12 up here. Okay, so he has 12 and then 15, 13. 14 on the D. And then 12 and 14 on the G. And he'll do those notes there, getting it in harmony. And then when the chord switches, he goes all the way to the 17. And that's typical of like the first riffs and stuff. So. And then of course his line was the 5. And the Dickie Betts line was the 8. And those chords on that part is going to be E minor 7, E flat flat minor 7, D minor 7, D flat or C sharp minor 7. So that's like using the middle finger on the big 12, and then we're gonna mute the next string, the A string, and then we're gonna have this on these next 12s on the D, G, and B string. Kind of a jazzy way to do a minor 7 set of chords. Okay, then we get into a solo section. This is gonna be like the organ solo, but it's gonna be the same types of chords that you'll use for the guitar solos too. So it's gonna be a A7 sharp 9. That's 12 on the A, then 11, then 12, and then 13. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna switch to this one. 12, 12, 11, and 13, that's a D7. Back to the A7 sharp 9. Then we got those chords. Okay, so we got our chords there. A7, sharp 9, D7. And you could be doing your A minor pentatonic kind of scale, soloing over that stuff. Da-dee-do. We get into that descending chromatic chord progression. Okay, so I'm gonna skip the Dwayne solo. We're gonna look at some of the Dickie Betts solo. It's a lot slower, it's kind of easier to figure out. Okay, so this Dickie Betts solo is gonna start after that riff. Okay, so the first thing we have is we wait one little half a beat and we go 5, 7, 4, 5, 7. So that was 5, 7 on the D, 4, 5, 7 on the G, and then we're gonna start on that 4, 5, 7, 4, 5 on the second string. So together that was 1, 1, 1. Now here we're gonna be on the second string, 4, 5, 7, 5, 7, 8, 7, 8. And then we're gonna start moving up to the 10 even. So we're gonna have 1, 1, 1. So once we get to the 10, we're gonna go 10, 7, 8. So we got this little riff twice, 7, 8, 10, 7, 8, 10, 8, 10. Okay, so we got 1, 1, 1. So we have a little 10, 8, 10 after that. So we got. And then we're gonna slide into this 9 to the 8. We're gonna get into this longer riff with the 7, 8, 10 all the way to the 12 and 15 coming up. So we have that. And then 7, 8, 10, 12. 15 to 12 twice. So once again, that was. So that last bar, we got this 15 bend, 12 to 15 on the second, and then 13, 15, 12 on the G string. So. Okay, then there's a little bit of another riff I want to show you here. This is like the next part of his solo. So it's 4, 5, 7 on the A, 4, 5, 7 back on that A. So does the same thing off that other string, and then he starts getting this little riff. So 4, 5, 4, 7, 5, 7. Okay, just kind of a weird Dickie Betts riff. And then they get back into that kind of... And then we have a new riff. We're going to go... So that was 8-5, 8-5, 7. And then we're going to go... So that was 7 on the G, 5 here on the B string, 5, 7 on the G, to that 7 on the D. So it's... And then we're going to go... So that was 7, 5, 7, 5, 3, big 5, and then 5, 7 on the D. Okay, and the harmony part on that is... So 12, 10, 8, and then 10, 8. And then we got... So that's 5, 7, 8, 5, 5. So this is the Dwayne part. So da-dum-dum-da-dum-dee-dum. And then for those last two to go with this, it's going to be 8 to 5, 8 on the second, and then 5. Now there's a really cool part. It goes 1, 2, 3, and on the upbeats of those 1, 2, 3, this is how they get from the drum solo back into the top of the tune. It's going to have this little chord up here, 12 and 13. So it's like boom, 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 3 times, and then you're back to the... So it's like drum solo finishes, and it's like 1, 2, 3. And the other guy be like 1 and 2 and 3 and... All right, thanks a lot for watching. Allman Brothers, Hot Lanta, live at the Fillmore East. If you haven't heard that album, that is like the Bible to Allman Brothers fans. So thanks again for watching. We'll see you soon. Okay, we're going to do some Allman Brothers today. We're going to have One Way Out. We're going to do a little bit of Southbound. So One Way Out, we have... Okay, so we got that A note going down to the octave of that, so the 7th fret of the D string. We're going to do 2 hits on that 7 and a pull off to that 7 on the A. Back to that A note there, 7th fret D. Okay, so... And then pull off to that lower note, and then 5, 5, 7, 7. So the second one ends a little different. You get that G note to that E note. So. Okay, let's try that real slow. 3, 4. Okay, then we're going to go down to D. 3, 4. So it's all the same exact stuff. You got your D, you got your octave here in the G string. And then we're back to A. And then we're going to go to the E, the 5 chord. 7th fret, A string to its octave. And then we'll hit the D and stop right there, and then it starts over. 3, 4. Three, 4. if we're going to do the chords on that and think of your A minor pentatonic scale, if you want to do a little jamming on this. 3, 4. 4 chord, D7. E7, D7, A7. All right, how about take a solo over this? I'll play the riff. 3, 4. Three, four. All right, so let's check out another one. Let's get into Southbound. Southbound is in C. And it starts out with a little thing where you do B flat 7 to B7 to C7. So it goes 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and. Okay, so you got your C minor pentatonic up in there you can play around with. You also have your those notes that kind of go with the major 3 of the arpeggio of that C7. So that's 8 up here, the C, and then you got 7 and 10, and sliding into that 7, maybe using a riff like is a cool way to kind of use some of the notes of that arpeggio. So you got 7, 10 on that one, then you got 8, 10, and then you got this 9 right here. That's one you can go half step into. See, so I use the one to go into that note, but I also have this note here from the pentatonic minor scale, so you can combine those things. Got a little chromatic there. So you got all these notes you can do in a blues. You got the 11, 10, and 8 on all 3 of these strings. You also have that's your major note that's in that C7 chord. You could also slide up into that note. That's the octave of that. And then down here, we have that lower octave. Okay, so let's jam out on that a little bit. And we got a cool riff on Southbound coming up too. So, all right, let's go from that intro and then think about if you're up here, you do little fills up in there in that extended position up there, that second position. So it'd be like. That kind of stuff, right? 1, 2, 3. Oh, 1, 2, going to the 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then we got this cool riff for Southbound. Okay, and then we're going to take that same riff to the other notes of the 1-4-5. So we got an 8, 2 8s, 2 7s here. Then we got the 8, 9, 10. Then we got 7, 8, 9, 10 on the next string. And let's start on the F, 3 and 4 and. Back to the C, 3 and 4 and. Then we got the G, 10th fret of the A string. Down to the F. To the C. Okay, so 3, 4. All right, thanks for watching Blues Day Tuesday. Hope you all dug that. We'll see you next week with more blues.